My name is Danilo, and I restore old watches. For some, it's a hobby, but for me, it's a way to hear stories. Because every old mechanism carries someone's fate, someone's life, someone's secret. But there was one watch that didn't just carry history, it changed it. It all started when a strange man in a dark cloak walked into my studio. He placed an old pocket watch decorated with silver patterns on the table. "Restore it," he said, "and don't ask questions." What happened to it? It stopped the night my daughter disappeared. I froze. The clock really had a specific minute marked on it. The hands were at 3:48. "Are you sure the clock hasn't broken before?" The man looked at me with cold eyes. "It never breaks. It only shows the truth." These words made me feel uneasy, but I took the job. For the first few hours, I simply disassembled the mechanism. It all looked like a regular old construction, until I saw something that wasn't supposed to be there. Inside, between the gears, there was something black, like dried blood. I carefully pulled it out with a needle and saw hair. Thin, childish. At that moment, the watch clicked loudly although I hadn't even wound it. The second hand trembled, and then it abruptly jumped one position forward. 3:49. I pulled my hand away. The watch was running on its own, without a spring. That night I had a strange dream. I was standing in the forest. Black fog hid the trees, and a narrow path led ahead. And in the middle of the forest stood a girl. She was looking straight at me, pale, with wet hair. In her hand she held the same watch. "Did you find him?" she whispered. "Help me, time is running out." I woke up to find the watch on my pillow, even though I had left it in the workshop. The hand showed 3:50. I decided to go to the man who had brought me the watch. His house was on the outskirts of town, old and neglected, as if from another century. He didn't open it right away. It seemed like he hadn't slept for days. "Did you wind the watch again?" he asked. "No, it moves by itself." The man smiled nervously. "That's how it should be. It shows what happened to my daughter." "Minute by minute, you mean that every movement of the hand is an event?" "These are her last minutes. And when it reaches the end, we'll find out who did it." His eyes flashed with madness. I felt terrible. That same night the clock jumped again. 3:51. I felt the air around me turn cold. I heard a soft childish laugh from the kitchen. I took a flashlight and went to look. No one was there. But there were wet footprints on the floor, from the hallway to my desk, where my watch lay. I touched it and saw a vision. A girl runs through the forest. Someone is chasing her. She falls. She screams. And then there is silence. And a figure emerges from the darkness. Tall. In a cloak. I shuddered. It was the same man. The vision disappeared. The clock read 3:52. I went to his place immediately. I knocked on the door. Silence. I went inside. The house was open. In the hallway there was a table with dozens of photos of the girl on it. Below, I have a caption. "My daughter. My time." In another room he was sitting on the floor. In front of him were clockwork scattered everywhere. He was looking at me as if he were waiting. "You saw it, right? Did you kill her?" I whispered. I tried to stop time so she wouldn't disappear. But he always moves on. The man stood up and placed my hand on his pulse. "Do you hear? It's not beating properly anymore." And indeed, the beats were ragged, like a broken metronome. "When the clock runs out, he'll take me instead of her." I looked at the watch in my hand. The hand was moving by itself. 3:53, 3:54, he's leaving already. The man shouted. "He's found a replacement." A silhouette flashed across the dark corridor. A girl. Wet hair. Pale hands. She held them out to me. And the hand stopped at 3:55. I threw the watch on the floor and ran outside. Behind me came a roar, a girl crying and a man screaming. The door slammed shut by itself. I ran until I couldn't feel my legs anymore. In the morning I returned to the workshop. On the table was the clock, in one piece, working, and the new time value, 3:56. Time continued, but without that man, because the next day the police found his body in the woods. In his hand he clutched a photograph of his daughter. And now, when I hear the quiet ticking every night, I know this clock doesn't move because the mechanism is working. It moves because it continues to write history. And one day, when he reaches the end, I'll know why he came back to me, and who he wants to take now.